When he calls someone dangerous, people listen. And when Joe Rogan spoke about Dakota Ditcheva, he didn't just compliment her. He warned the entire division, calling her a beast, a serious problem, and one of the most exciting rising fighters in the sport. But what makes it truly frightening is what Rogan highlighted, something most people overlook. She appears calm, composed, almost harmless, yet the moment she steps inside the cage, she becomes pure violence.
UFC went away. Hey, the PFL will probably take up a slot. PFL is going to get people to pay attention. There's one who's really interesting, who's this monster.
Let's talk facts. Dakota Ditcheva is 15-0 with 12 knockouts. This isn't just winning, it's domination. She doesn't outpoint opponents or simply survive fights. She finishes them quickly, violently, and often early. Her Muay Thai-based style is built for destruction, using body shots, knees, relentless pressure, and, most importantly, zero hesitation. Now things get even more serious because Dana White wasn't always fully sold on her, but his tone has shifted completely, calling her very good, mean, nasty, which in his language signals elite-level praise. He has even admitted he was wrong about her, and when Dana White says that, it usually means something big is coming. On the other side stands champion Valentina Shevchenko, one of the most complete fighters in the division, with precision striking, elite grappling, and world-class fight IQ. But she has never faced someone with this level of non-stop aggression and finishing instinct. Joe Rogan has highlighted how dangerous that combination is. Calm outside the cage, but explosive inside it. Dakota forces mistakes through speed, volume, and pressure. And in a matchup like this, even a single mistake against Shevchenko could change everything. This isn't just hype. It's a stylistic storm waiting to happen. And Dakota Ditcheva is looking more inevitable with every fight. And when she does, the flyweight division will never be the same. So now the question is yours. If Dakota Ditcheva fights Valentina Shevchenko, who wins? Does a champion prove she is still levels above, or does the undefeated knockout machine shock the world? Comment below bullet for Shevchenko, dangerous for Ditcheva, and subscribe for more brutal MMA breakdowns. Because in this sport, hype dies the moment the cage door closes. Stop scrolling right now. Because one of the most dominant and polarizing figures in MMA history just dropped 3 words that could shake women's MMA to its core. I'm back. And fans instantly started asking a terrifying question. Could Ronda Rousey be returned to target the most dangerous, undefeated striker in the sport? Reports are already exploding about a potential high-profile comeback fight, and whispers are linking her return to rising global destroyer Dakota Ditcheva, a fighter who has never lost, who is redefining modern women's MMA striking, and who might represent the very evolution that once ended Rousey's dominance. This is no longer just a comeback story. It could become a war between 2 eras of women's MMA.
Women want to be equal. And believe me when I tell you, women have proved here that they are equal. They have absolutely proven themselves. And people love the women's fights. These women become big stars.
Be the face of women's MMA. You're on that path. It's there.
Just scare me a little bit, that people are putting all this faith in me. Although I know I'm going to do that anyway. I'm going to be the face of female MMA. I know that's one of my goals, to inspire and things like that. And I want to be the best.
I never expected these women to be as technical and as badass as they have been.
It can be daunting at times that I've kind of got all this kind of media and stuff like that on.
After nearly a decade away from MMA competition, Ronda Rousey is reportedly preparing to return to fighting at 39 years old, and she is not coming back quietly. She is targeting a high-profile super fight before stepping away from MMA for good. Rousey built one of the most historic runs in combat sports history, finishing her professional career with 12 wins and 2 losses, including 9 submission victories and 3 knockouts. She didn't just win fights. She dominated and ended them before they could fully develop, establishing herself as one of the most feared finishers in women's MMA.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Fun.
Ronda Rousey became the first women's bantamweight champion in UFC history and finished 11 of her first 12 opponents, with dominant first-round victories over Miesha Tate and Kat Zingano. Her signature armbar became one of the most feared finishing weapons in MMA history, and she wasn't just a grappler. Late in her UFC career, she also developed serious knockout power, highlighted by her 34-second destruction of Beta Correa, proving she could end fights on the feet as well. She was evolving into an even more dangerous version of herself until two shocking defeats changed everything. A devastating knockout loss to Holly Holm, followed by a 48-second defeat against Amanda Nunes, which ultimately ended her dominant reign and closed an entire era of women's MMA supremacy. While Ronda Rousey stepped away, a new generation rose to take over, and one of the leading forces of that evolution is Dakota Ditcheva. The undefeated striker has been dominating the Professional Fighters League women's flyweight division with a perfect professional record of 15 wins and 0 losses, backed by an elite Muay Thai background. She isn't just winning fights. She is dismantling opponents with surgical striking, relentless pressure, and brutal body shot finishes. Ditcheva became the first British female MMA world champion after defeating Taila Santos, and she continued her rise by dominating rising contenders like Sumiko Inaba, further proving she is one of the most dangerous emerging forces in modern women's MMA.
Oh, the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the knee, finds its way to the face of Sumiko Inaba, and an elbow for Dakota. Want to be here, back against the fence.
She represents speed, precision, and the modern striking style that many analysts believe would have been a stylistic nightmare for Ronda Rousey. But recently, momentum has taken a pause for Dakota Ditcheva, who withdrew from a scheduled bout with Denise Kielholtz after suffering a fractured right hand and other injuries, reminding everyone that in MMA, opportunity often comes through setbacks. Now imagine this matchup: a returning legend versus an undefeated modern striker in her prime. Stylistically, it's a terrifying clash. Rousey brings Olympic-level judo, devastating clinch throws, world-class submissions, and relentless forward pressure, while Ditcheva brings elite Muay Thai striking, championship-level pace and endurance, lightning-fast footwork, and advanced striking defense. This is not just grappler versus striker. It's evolution versus legacy. And MMA history has shown a brutal pattern. Returning legends rarely face safe paths. They face fighters built to replace them. Rousey helped build women's MMA into a global sport, creating a foundation for today's opportunities, while Ditcheva represents how far the sport has evolved. Faster striking, more complete skill sets, and deeper global talent. Fans remain divided. Some believe Rousey's grappling could overwhelm her, while others believe Ditcheva's striking would repeat history and create another generational upset. If this super fight ever becomes reality, it wouldn't just be a matchup. It would be a collision between two eras of women's MMA, asking one defining question: who wins? The pioneer who built it, or the undefeated striker shaping its future?
And that was Moose can be proud of hers as well.
Ronda Rousey sends a message to Dakota Ditcheva. An entire MMA world can't stop talking about it. The former UFC queen, the woman who once finished nearly every opponent in the first round, has finally broken her silence. And what she said could ignite one of the biggest women's MMA rivalries of all time. Ronda didn't just show respect. She delivered a warning. Dakota, you're fast, you're flashy, but I'll show you what real pain looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just a call-out. This is Ronda Rousey versus Dakota Ditcheva. The legend versus the undefeated killer. Here we go. The fight clock is ticking.
Go! Tonight's fight clock. Wow, right down. Look at that. Oh, man. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Bud Light Show. Pleasant fist for whatever happens. Ronda wants to make it happen quickly. Now she gave her She gave her Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That is way under a minute. Wow. Unbelievable. That's crazy.
Sprinkle by TKO or KO, I will tell you the confidence that she's going to have now getting up is going to be unbelievable.
And there it is. Beautiful knee from the plum.
And Ditcheva beckons Jenna Bishop back to her feet and goes immediately on the attack. Oh,
trouble.
And that does it. First round finish.
Before you roll your eyes and say Ronda is done, think again. Ronda Rousey built a legendary run of 12 wins and 2 losses, including 12 first-round finishes. Nobody, and I mean nobody, dominated like her in her prime. Then came the fall. Defeats against Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. 2 losses that changed the course of her career forever. But now, years later, Rousey's name is back in the headlines. Reports and speculation have suggested she may be feeling the urge to compete again, and fans are talking. This time, the rumored focus isn't Amanda Nunes or Juliana Pena. It's Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated rising star from the PFL.
Come here. Come here.
She said, "Everyone keeps saying Dakota is the next big thing. I was the first big thing, and I can still break her arm in 30 seconds. And that line broke the internet. MMA Twitter exploded instantly. Fans started posting side-by-side highlight reels, Dakota's knees versus Ronda's arm bars, and the comments turned brutal. Ronda, stay or retire before Dakota ends your legacy. Ronda would still armbar her into another dimension. Everyone is divided. Is Ronda Rousey just chasing clout? Or is she serious about returning for one last war against Dakota Ditcheva?